come on. Let me show you how to play this game, huh? You just wait and watch. Hey, Akion, what's up, man?
Hey, Joe, have you heard about this new thing called
X-KIOSK, is it? Best gila, though.
Wait, you know it?
Of course, everyone's talking about it.
What is X-KIOSK?
It's my one-stop solution to solve all my payments.
I can pay all of my bills in just 5 minutes. Wow!
You know, I can top up my e-wallet dengan X-KIOSK no-need card.
Wait, you don't need a credit card for that?
In fact, you can pay with all three: cash, card, and e-wallet.
That's up to you. Also, I pun boleh top up my mobile prepaid, then I can talk to my daughter longer. I dah top up.
You can even place your advertisements on X-KIOSK.
Wow! Because of that, my business has grown. Yay!
Wow, check out this promotion.
And the best part is, you can find X-KIOSK at strategic lifestyle locations near you.
Senang lah.
Wow, better tell my family about this. Hey Ma, have you heard about the X-KIOSK?
Using it already lah.
Good afternoon to all of our guests joining us online today. My name is Sheahnee, and as your host today, it's an honor for me to virtually welcome all of you to the grand media launch of the X-KIOSK, a digital lifestyle payment solution brought to you by OpenSys Malaysia Berhad. Before we get started, let's all welcome from GoBiz by You Mobile Chief Marketing Officer Ms. Jasmine Lee, General Manager Mr. Albert Liu, from Touch and Go Digital Chief Commercial Officer Mr. Danny Chua, from Dobie Queen, Director Mr. Seng Lee Tan and Director Ms. Nini Tan, and from EcoShop Chief Financial Officer Mr. Ng Jun Ren. Distinguished partners and guests and members of the media, without all of you, the X-KIOSK would not have become a reality. So, what is the X-KIOSK exactly? Well, it's a machine that integrates technology into your lifestyle and delivers consistent service wherever you go. You'll be able to power up your digital lifestyle with X-KIOSK, giving you an easy alternative to settling payments. With X-KIOSK, paying bills, reloading e-wallets and telecommunication services, as well as purchasing or replacing SIM cards have never been more convenient, as one machine encompasses a wide range of billers. So how about we hear directly from the man whose vision inspired the creation of the X-KIOSK. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on your screens, I'm pleased to welcome Mr. Eric Lim, Chief Executive Officer of OpenSys Malaysia Berhad, for a few words to mark this occasion.
Thank you, Sheahnee. A very warm welcome, and thank you for taking your time to be with us today. I'm very excited that all of you can join us for our X-KIOSK, a digital lifestyle payment solution grand launch. I would like to take this opportunity to first acknowledge our distinguished partners. Firstly, thank you Touch and Go Digital for being our partner. Through our partnership, we are able to provide a convenient platform that further propels digital payment and helps our targeted communities to transition from cash to digital payment via your Touch and Go e-wallet. Next, thank you You Mobile for collaborating with us to provide merchant acquiring services for our merchants on card payments, as well as participating as our merchant on our X-KIOSK. Next, we are also very thankful for the collaboration with Dobie Queen and EcoShop. We believe our collaboration will bring more value to your customers by offering them services such as reloads and bill payments at your premises, providing them more convenience. Without our partners, X-KIOSK will not exist today. On behalf of OpenSys, we sincerely thank each and everyone for playing an essential role to the X-KIOSK ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are aware of the communities who are facing poor digital connectivity and lack of accessibility in making payments. While digital transformation is seeing a major acceleration due to the pandemic, there are also a group of underserved communities in our country. The digital divide among Malaysian communities still exists, and some segments of society remain underserved. Communities labelled as B40 and a segment of M40 may lack the means of bank accounts, cards, and e-wallets to take part in the digital economy. Companies are also placing more emphasis on digital channel, decreasing their focus on brick-and-mortar stores. With this in mind, we are proud to launch our latest innovative product, X-KIOSK, a digital lifestyle payment solution to Malaysians today. Our mission is to bridge the digital divide for those who are affected by the inconvenience. A recent study showed that for Malaysians aged 18 to 54, 29.3% still prefer to use cash as a payment, while 28.6% choose to use e-wallets. In line with one of the government My Digital initiatives to implement digital payment across all government ministries and agencies, we believe that X-KIOSK will be well positioned to support this initiative and encourage more Malaysians to adopt a digital payment lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you an overview of the X-KIOSK. X-KIOSK is a digital lifestyle payment solution that brings convenience to the underserved communities. X-KIOSK will be placed in high-traffic community-based lifestyle locations, including retail outlets, convenience stores, community locations such as condominiums, apartments, universities, and colleges. The kiosk offers convenience in its multiple payment modes using cash, credit and debit cards, and e-wallets. It is a one-stop solution where prepaid reloads, e-wallet top-ups, SIM card replacement, sales of SIM cards, a wide variety of bill payments and loan repayments can be conducted. Most importantly, the community can make these payments at any time they desire, allowing them to have more control over their finances. Consumers from these communities will have peace of mind when they make secure online payments with clear online payment status. Physical or electronic receipts will be generated instantly for each transaction. All of these functions are built together to provide a user-friendly experience to the community and encourage more consumers to transition from cash to digital payments. X-KIOSK also serves as an extended payment service channel without the need of brick-and-mortar investment from our merchants. It provides a complementary physical presence at community locations, making it a cost-effective channel for building brand presence on the ground. With the X-KIOSK, we believe it will help to increase footfall to our premise owners such as EcoShop and Dhoby Queen, bringing vibrancy to storefronts, adding more value and convenience to their customers. For example, consumers are now able to make payments, reload their telco prepaid plans and e-wallets while doing their shopping and laundry. With the deployment of X-KIOSK at our premise owners' outlets, it will help to bring additional revenue stream to our premise owners via our revenue sharing scheme. Lastly, I take great pride in our deliverables today, especially our dedicated team, from conceptualization to design, partner collaboration, and project execution. Not forgetting our dedicated technical team, which has worked relentlessly to ensure success of today's launch. Without them, we will not be able to unveil X-KIOSK today. From the bottom of my heart, a big thank you to all our internal and external stakeholders, especially our invited distinguished partners and guests. Your presence is making today a memorable occasion. Thank you to all the members of the media as well. Do stay tuned for more updates in due course about X-KIOSK. Stay safe everyone, and thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, the time has finally come to unveil the X-KIOSK. I hope you will join me virtually to count down together. Are we ready, Mr. Eric?
Yes, we are.
All right, let's place our hand on the launch pad and let's count down together. In 3, 2, 1, launch! And And here it is, Mr. Eric and the team behind it all. Congratulations, X-KIOSK, the digital lifestyle payment solution, is finally here in Malaysia. And now let's officiate this gorgeous new machine by having Mr. Eric perform the very first transaction by the CEO during this launch using the X-KIOSK. Are we ready, Mr. Eric?
Yes, we are,
All
Sheahnee.
right, let's do this.
Let's do it, yeah. So what I'm going to do a prepaid reload transaction for my mobile plan, right? So I'm going to come to the kiosk, right? On the menu here, you can see various options. So I'm going to select prepaid reload. I'm going to select my mobile plan. I'm going to select touch and go as a payment mode. Select the denomination that I want to top up. Key my contact number.
Don't save this number to your contacts, yeah?
It's just in case I need to be contacted. Then I'll come to my my mobile phone, my smartphone here, and start my touch and go e-wallet app. And I'm going to select pay. To show my QR code, right? Then I just got to scan the QR code on the kiosk.
All right, so all we have to do now is press continue and scan, right?
Yep, that's right.
Sounds simple enough. All right,
So
let's scan.
Yep.
And it's done. The transaction is being processed. Now all we have to do is just wait for the receipt to come out. And that should, oh, it's done. It's done.
Yep.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The first transaction with the X-KIOSK is complete. You must be very proud, Mr. Eric.
Indeed I am.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the X-KIOSK would not be a reality today if not for the collaborations with the partners who contributed to its creation. Let's hear from some of them on why they took that leap of faith with the X-KIOSK. First up is a biller that consumers will soon find available for payments on the X-KIOSK. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to your screens Ms. Jasmine Lee, Chief Marketing Officer of GoBiz by U Mobile.
Very happy to be here today because this is a great innovation from OpenSys with the X-KIOSK. So we are excited to be part of the partner working with OpenSys to launch X-KIOSK. So U Mobile has been involved in the introduction of GoBiz a couple of years ago. Our objective at that time was to provide an all-in-one digital business services and solution that enables, of course, because I'm from U Mobile, connectivity, digital payments, and also digital financial and productivity services, such as microloans, office suites, payroll, remittance services to help Malaysian businesses, big or small, to digitize easily by making it accessible and affordable. So it's a mouthful, but today we worked with OpenSys to launch X-KIOSK. Through GoBiz, we will enjoy greater payment flexibility as we are enabling payments via credit and debit cards, be it MasterCard or Visa. These GoBiz enabled payments can be made via X-KIOSK with different methods, contact, contactless or secure PIN, making the process very easy, safe and secure. So by partnering with X-KIOSK, we are also enabling our GoBiz users to have more platforms to make the best use of our digital payment services. So while self-service kiosk is such a new concept in Malaysia, I really congratulate X-KIOSK for making this leap and making this concept freely available in Malaysia. We are confident that it will soar and be successful similar to markets like Japan and South Korea. Anywhere there is an X-KIOSK, GoBiz is happy to be the partner to provide their digital payments acceptance for all X-KIOSK. So big congratulations again to OpenSys for this wonderful innovation and the launch of X-KIOSK. May GoBiz and X-KIOSK partnership become a key catalyst to build a digital lifestyle in Malaysia. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Miss Jasmine. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome to your screens Mr. Danny Chua, Chief Commercial Officer of Touch 'n Go Digital, to share his thoughts with you. Danny.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Touch 'n Go Digital, we are very honored to be here to witness the first transaction, and thank you that it's a Touch 'n Go e-wallet transaction. We are very excited to be here to see the new innovation by our partner OpenSys. X-KIOSK look fabulous as a platform, and I congratulate you. I can't congratulate you enough, Eric and the OpenSys team. All the best, and hope to see greater and good things in our partnership moving ahead. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Danny. And finally, let's hear from another great early supporter of the X-KIOSK, Miss Nini Tan from Dobie Queen. Dobie Queen is a coin-operated 24-hour self-service laundry franchise with 64 outlets all over Selangor and Kuala Lumpur. Miss Nini Tan, the screen is all yours.
Hello, very good afternoon, everyone. So Dobie Queen is a 24-hour self-service laundry that stands for excellent customer service, high value for money, and high convenience laundry solution. So our mission is actually to reduce burden within a household, and it is actually becoming a lifestyle gathering point for communities around the outlets. So why do we partner with OpenSys? OpenSys is well known for its self-service bill payments for major billers. So based on our observation, as X-KIOSK gets popular and the word gets spread around, it will bring traffic to our outlets. X-KIOSK also provide an exciting new value-added service to us, because X-KIOSK, similar to us, helps reduce burden within the and OpenSys offers a convenient way to up, load, pay for bills for our customers. And at our outlet, this is a 20-hour service. X-KIOSK has multiple payment modes, caters for those who use cash, and is very convenient with e-payment and so modern with new digital e-wallet, Visa, Master, credit or debit cards, and secure with PIN all in one device. So thank you very much. X-KIOSK.
Thank you, Miss Nini Tan. Now, I'm sure many of you tuning in will be curious to see the X-KIOSK in action. For that, let's call up Mr. Dennis Quay, Vice President of Sales of OpenSys Malaysia Berhad, to show us the functions of the X-KIOSK. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dennis Quay. Hi Dennis. Now I'm so excited to know how the X-KIOSK technology works, but I'll be honest, for a consumer like me, such technology can seem a little bit daunting. So maybe can you just explain to me how easy and convenient it actually is to use?
Okay, sure. Thanks, Sheahnee. Let me demonstrate to you how our X-KIOSK actually works, whereby I will emphasize on the four links items here. First will be the physical attributes of the machines, and the second will be what kind of functions and also the transactions that consumers can actually expecting from our machines. And the next will be how easy they can use our machines and the security elements that we have actually implemented in these machines. And last, the best things of all is that these machines actually don't come with any charges, so whereby consumers actually pay zero processing fees when they use the machines.
That sounds great, Dennis. How about let's start by looking at the physical attributes of the machine first?
Sure. Let's take a look at these machines. It's actually come with a 27-inch touchscreen. So it's a white touchscreen and it's a multi-touch sensitive screens.
Now, for someone like me, I've had some experience using touchscreen technology that doesn't actually, work very nicely. How sensitive is this touchscreen exactly?
Okay. This touchscreen technology is actually same like the touchscreen that we actually use on the mobile phone and the tablets. So it's a multi-touch touchscreen and then with anti-scratch technologies.
Now, in a time like this, obviously there's a lot of concern about the risk of surface transmission of viruses and bacteria. How safe is it to actually use this touchscreen technology?
Well, we take that in consideration. This touchscreen is actually coated with layers of microfilm that we call as antimicrobial film that can eliminate almost 99% of the pathogens. So it's an antivirus kind of touchscreens.
Oh, okay. That's very reassuring to hear. Okay, now, Dennis, what about the financial transactions? What kind of functions and transactions can we actually use this machine for? Could you show me an example?
Okay, this machine basically you can do a bill payment, you can do a telco prepaid top-up, IDD prepaid top-up, you can do a game credit top-up as well, and you can do an e-wallet top-up as well.
Okay, great. Can you take me through maybe a touch-and-go e-wallet top-up?
Sure.
Okay,
let's do it then.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so it's only a few steps that you need to go through. So when you come into this screen, you just have to select the options that you wanted to. Then, for example, now we are doing a touch-and-go e-wallet top-up. So I'm choosing as a cash mode. 50 ringgit. Key in your phone number as a reference because we need these phone numbers for reference. Okay. Put in the cash. So confirm on the values that you want to top up.
That's quite fast.
Yeah, it's very straightforward.
Just a few seconds and it's done.
Okay, so there you
Wow.
get the receipts here.
Our first transaction.
Yep.
Now, this receipt, can I have it sent to my mobile?
Sure. There's an option on the screen as you can see here. There's an email receipts here. So you can actually select that options if you want to email your receipts to your email.
Now, how about we try another transaction, Dennis? Let's say IDD top up.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me show you how
Can
you do
I
it.
try?
Sure.
All right. Okay. So I've got my credit card.
Yeah.
Can I use this?
Sure.
Okay, now what do I do?
So you just need to click on the IDD reload.
Okay.
Right? Okay,
Here?
click on that.
All right.
Yep.
And
then select the options, payment options.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the amount.
Yes.
And then I
You need
key
to
in
the
my phone number. Okay, continue.
Yep.
That's quite easy.
Wave your card there. Just wait for the receipt. Done.
Wow, that is so easy. Now I get my receipt and we are done.
Done.
Fantastic. Wow. Now, Dennis, this is so easy, and now I guess I'll be using this machine for all of my financial transactions. But of course, I do have one important question. If I'll be using this machine for sensitive financial transactions, how sure can I be that it's actually secure?
Okay, all these transactions is actually transmitted through a very secure platform, and even the card readers that we are putting there is actually a industrial standards certified with the EMV and the PCI DSS.
So here's a scenario. Say I'm using the X-KIOSK machine and I suddenly find that I need support. How will I be able to get assistance while I'm using the machine?
Okay, there you can see there is X-KIOSK customers care up there.
Okay.
So you can actually using your phone to scan and WhatsApp or phone call or emails to our customers care service, which operate from 8 o'clock in the morning until 12 midnight every day.
That's great. So just scan
Yep.
and I get support.
Yep.
Great. Now, I'm not very tech savvy, so if I need help in multiple languages, how do I do that?
Sure, we actually support 3 languages here, Bahasa Malaysia, English and Chinese. So you can look at the screen down there, you can click on it. Okay. You can switch the language easily.
And it's now all in
Yeah.
BM. And say I want to switch it to Chinese. Fantastic. So this is it right here.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's great then.
Yes. It's so easy, right?
One more thing, Dennis. Now that I know how easy and convenient it is to use the X-KIOSK, how many transactions can I actually do in a day? Because now I'm thinking I want to reload my e-wallet, I want to pay my bills. Is there a limit to the number of transactions?
There's no limits. You can pay multi-bills, you can do multi-top-ups, reloads for your telcos, and then you can do an e-wallet top-up as well. There's no limit at all.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I'll be using this machine quite a lot. Okay, now, thanks so much, Dennis, for this informative demo. I'm so excited already to be using this machine. It's available all over the Klang Valley right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should go on site to one of those locations
Sure.
right now, and you're gonna belanja me.
Okay.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
Come on, let me show you how to play this game, huh? You just wait and walk. Hey, Alkion, what's up, man?
Hey, Joe, have you heard about this new thing called
X-KIOSK, is it? Best gila, though.
Wait, you know it?
Of course, everyone is talking about it.
What is X-KIOSK?
It's my one-stop solution to solve all my payments.
I can pay all of my bills in just 5 minutes. Wow!
You know, I can top up my e-wallet dengan X-KIOSK no need card.
Wait, you don't need a credit card for that?
In fact, you can pay with all 3, cash, card, and e-wallet.
That's up to you. Also, I pun boleh top up my mobile prepaid, then I can talk to my daughter longer. I dah top up.
You can even place your advertisements on X-KIOSK.
Wow! Because of that, my business has grown. Yay!
Wow, check out this promotion.
And the best part is, you can find X-KIOSK at strategic lifestyle locations near you.
Senang lah.
Wow, better tell my family about this. Hey, Ma, have you heard about the X-KIOSK?
Using it already lah.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's milestone event. On behalf of OpenSys Malaysia Berhad, I'd like to thank all of you for making time in your busy schedules to join us virtually here today. And while this may be the end of today's session, it's certainly a new beginning for digital convenience right at your fingertips. A big thank you once again from OpenSys to our partners GoBiz by U Mobile, Touch and Go Digital, Dobie Queen, and EcoShop. For members of the media, fund managers and analysts who are with us here today, please stay online for a Q&A session with our respective spokespersons. We've set up a dedicated breakout room for the session, so do join us there. Thank you all once again for joining us today, and do look out for the X-KIOSK wherever you go. Stay safe and have a great day ahead. Good afternoon, members of the media and fund managers who are joining us today. Thank you for staying on for the media Q&A session. As you can see, our spokespersons are on standby here with me already, so we will be starting shortly. But before the session begins, I'd like to invite any guests who are not from the media or investment community to kindly exit the room before the session begins. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in a media Q&A session with us. For our media and fund managers attending, please do ensure that your login profile starts with your media outlet first and then only your name. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you very much. It's very nice to see so many of you joining us here in our media room today. Another gentle reminder, if we could have all of our participants here today to kindly change your profile name to add the media outlet that you're from before your actual name so that we can identify which publication or station you're from. Thank you very much. Welcome to Hanum from NST, News Hub Asia, Ruzana. Would like to see where else our friends are joining us from. If you're a fund manager or an analyst, please do also add your outlet, your organization prior to your name so that we can also easily identify you. All right, let's kick things off. Good afternoon to all members of the media and fund managers joining us at our media session this afternoon. Thank you for making time for us despite your busy schedule. We hope you enjoyed the grand virtual launch of X-KIOSK, a digital lifestyle payment solution earlier. I sure had a blast hosting it. Now, before we begin our media session, allow me to introduce myself and our speakers first. I'm Sheahnee and I'll be your moderator for this session. Joining me on the panel are the spokespersons from OpenSys Malaysia Berhad, namely Mr. Eric Lim, Chief Executive Officer of OpenSys Malaysia Berhad, whom you saw conducting his first transaction on the X-KIOSK earlier, and Mr. Tun Hee Hian, Senior Vice President, Business Development of OpenSys Malaysia Berhad. Now, a gentle reminder before we begin, please do take note that the focus of our session today will be solely on OpenSys, the launch of X-KIOSK, and of course, related topics only. Also, if you have any questions, we'll need you to first raise your hand using the raise hand button at the bottom part of your screen, then state your name and the media outlet that you are representing before you ask your question. We really appreciate your understanding with regards to that. Now let's kick things off. Please feel free to raise your hands anytime now, or you can even ask your questions in the chat box. However, priority will be given to raised hands. We'd love to see your faces. All right, let's kick things off with our first question. All right, we've got a question here. I can't identify who is asking. Let me see. All right, Fazli from Business Today. Hello, Fazli. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we've got a few questions here from Fazli. First of all, how many X-KIOSK will be designated in the country, and how many does OpenSys project to designate, or how many do they project to launch? Eric, would you like to take that?
Okay, thanks Fazli for that question. First of all, welcome to our media session to everyone. Okay, how many kiosks will we be designated in the country? We are planning to roll out 120 units per year, right? Starting this year, so for the next 3 years. So that's our current plan at the moment. So there'll be a total of 360 units by the end of 2023.
All right, let's see Fazli's other question. Are the X-KIOSks available outside of Klang Valley, like in East Coast states, Sabah and Sarawak? And if they're not, when can they expect them?
Yes, most definitely. We'll be expanding X-KIOSK nationwide. Currently, we have installation at Klang Valley at the moment. But yes, our plan is to roll out to all the states nationwide. So we will do that in phases, right? And yeah, definitely East Coast, Sabah, Sarawak. Yes, we will have X-KIOSK there too. Yes.
Thank you very much for your question, Fazli. We're waiting for more questions from you. If you're a little shy, not to worry. You don't actually have to raise your hand and appear on the screen. You can also put your question in the chat box and we'll be happy to direct them to either Eric or Mr. Tune. But if you'd like to ask directly, please do feel free to raise your hand using the raise hand button on the bottom part of your screen, and we'd love to hear your question. All right. Let's just wait for more questions to come in. I can see that we have friends today from the media, from Business Today, from News Hub, NST. For those of you who have just joined us, we'd really appreciate if you could add your media outlet name before your name, if you can change that in your profile so that we can identify where you're from. We'd love to know who's joining us today. And also, when you ask your question, it'd be helpful for us also to identify which organization you're from. Okay, we'd love to have your questions. All right, not to worry, we are taking questions from both chat box as well as through the raise hand function. Okay, we've got a question here from Lynn from Bernama. Okay, she's got 3 questions. Eric, let's start with the first one. How much are your target consumers for this year?
Okay, thank you for that question from Bernama. We are targeting per kiosk based on, today, in fact, just to give you a bit of background, today we already have installed about 500 over kiosks, but these are at our enterprise customers' outlets, right? Based on that statistics, we've seen on average, we could get up to like 300 users per month per kiosk. 3,000, I'm sorry, yeah, 3,000 users, right, per kiosk per month. So that's our target for our X-KIOSK as well, right? That's based on our experience.
Next question, where will X-KIOSK be placed? How many in high traffic communities such as the Klang Valley?
Well, the community location that we are looking at will be the lifestyle retail outlets. We are looking at, say, high density residential areas and areas like, say, factories. We are looking at colleges, universities. Of course, we wait for students and all that to go back to the colleges after the ease of lockdown. Those are the community locations that we will be targeting, right? So as to how many as I say, we have target to roll 120 units every year. So there will be 120 locations nationwide, not just Klang Valley. You'll be nationwide.
So basically, very convenient locations, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the third question from Lynn Bernama. How about the safety for the payment solution? I believe Dennis did touch on that earlier, but maybe you could elaborate.
Yeah, in terms of security, of course, between when customer do a transaction between the kiosk and what happened at the back end is fully encrypted and is fully secured, and all the payment devices that we use are conform to international standards. For example, the payment terminals is EMV compliant, and we have certified using PCI DSS. So it's very secured and transaction-wise. And in terms of additional, well, I guess if you look at physical safety, we also have equipped our kiosk with CCTV, and it's been monitored around the clock. So in case there's any intrusion or any issue with the kiosk, we will be the alarm will trigger, and then we will have appropriate personnel to handle those kind of situations. So yeah, that's it in terms of the physical safety of it.
That's very reassuring to hear. Yeah, okay, now thank you very much, Lynn from Bernama, for your questions. Okay, now we have another question here from Chishin. I hope that's the correct pronunciation. Chishin from The Star. Okay, her questions are, you mentioned enterprise customers. How long have you been testing it with them? And what other arrangements do you have for the rollout of the kiosks? Then the other part of the question is, do stores rent your kiosks or do you rent space in the store?
The enterprise customer that we've been working on has been, we've been working with them for many years, probably like 15 years or so. Some of the customers are early adopters using our kiosk. But this, as I said, the enterprise customer, we are installing the kiosk at their premises, at their service centers. Right? So that's what we've been working with them for, most of them are more than 10 years.
Okay, now thank you very much, Chishin from The Star.
Okay,
yes. The other part of the question.
Yeah,
yes. Do stores rent your kiosks or do you rent space in the store?
What we have is a revenue sharing scheme with our premise owners. So that's the arrangement that we have, right? So we share our revenue with the premise owners.
Okay, I hope, Chishin, that basically answers your question. If any of you need clarification on that, you are welcome to drop your additional questions in the chat box. We also noticed that we have fund managers joining us from various investment houses. If you have questions to ask, you're more than welcome also to raise your hand, press the raise hand button, and we'd be happy to have you on screen with us. And if you're also from the media, please do feel welcome to ask whatever questions you have related to OpenSys and the X-KIOSK today. We have quite a lot of members of the investment community and from the media here today. We thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We've got maybe about 10 minutes left for this media session, so I do strongly encourage that if you have any questions that you have, take this opportunity to ask away from our spokespersons, Eric, as well as Mr. Tune. Also, if you are a little shy to raise your hand, not to worry. You can pop your questions in the chat box and I'll be happy to ask them for you. All right. Okay, we've got a couple more questions here. All right. Eric, could you share with us your go-to-market strategy? And then the second part is, how much investment has OpenSys put into developing the X-KIOSK?
Okay, our go-to-market strategy is we want to have as many billers, merchants, as well as premise owners, to roll out as many kiosks as possible out there, right? So we are working hard on that, and also to have more issuers, especially on the e-wallet side, to be on board with us, right? So that's how we're going to, because we believe that by providing this breadth of services, payment services, payment modes, and also the location, right, will make this our X-KIOSK a success deployment.
And how about the investment?
Well, today we have invested about 1.8 million ringgit in terms of setting up the whole infrastructure, as well as our software development effort. So total is about so far has been about it's total about 1.8 million ringgit. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Eric. Okay, we've got another question here from Yiturk from Oriental Daily. Thank you for your question, Yiturk. Could you elaborate on the revenue sharing scheme? How are you going to get your income from transactions? And what's your target for this year, revenue and number of kiosks? A three-part question.
Okay, thank you for the question. So the revenue sharing scheme, basically, whatever the revenue that we generated, we will share a part of that with our, these are basically on the location, our premise owners, right? And how we are getting the income is basically will be in mainly from three segments. First one will be the transaction fee that we will charge for the billers or the merchants right? For each bills that we collect or each top up that we do, right, on the kiosk. So that is one. And for transaction that involves cards and also e-wallets, we will charge an MDR to our merchants as well, or billers, right? So we will earn that processing fee, right, if there's a card transaction or an e-wallet transaction. So that's one. And another one that we will be looking to monetize later on will be the advertising and digital marketing airtime. Because our kiosk is equipped with a big screen, and there would be opportunity for us to monetize the airtime, for us to do digital marketing and also advertisement. So that will be another way that we will get our revenue from.
Would you be able to share your targets?
Well, I guess our focus at the moment is to roll out as many kiosks as possible, right? And also focus on getting more billers on board, merchants on board, talk to our strategic premise owners to put the X-KIOSK. So we are very focused on, and of course to also have more e-money issuers on board. So our focus is very much on that. So I guess it's still early days. We just launched it today. Yeah, we will in due time we probably can share with you a bit more. But we do have a target to for this business to give us a double-digit kind of contribution to our business, probably by 2023. Yeah.
So it's safe to say it's a moving target and an ongoing process, yes?
Yes, it's an ongoing process.
Okay, and important to note that there are no transactions taken from the users of the X-KIOSK, yes?
That's correct. The users of the kiosk will not be charged any fees.
Excellent, I like that. Okay, next question is from Nazari from Capital Dynamics. What is the merchant discount rate? What is the split between OpenSys and other partners? And who does the processing, settlement, clearing? And I think the last part was cut off, but I think it's understandable. Okay, Eric, perhaps the merchant discount rate first.
Yes, merchant discount rate is a kind of industry term. Yeah, I guess some people might not be familiar with that. Basically, is to when you use a credit card, and then of course these days is an e-wallet. When you use those payment instrument, right, and then on, let's say, like in this case, our kiosk, we as a kind of a processing middleman, if you want to call that, right, we are allowed to charge a fees to facilitate that payment, right, using card or e-wallet. So that's actually a middleman fee, if you like, that we actually charge to our merchant to help them collect this payment. So that's called a merchant discount rate. And who does the processing? Today, as earlier we heard in the launch, we are actually teaming up with, currently we have two processing partners that we are working with. One is GoBiz by U Mobile. That is on the card side for debit credit cards. And then of course we have Touch and Go on the Touch and Go e-wallet, Touch and Go digital on the Touch and Go e-wallet. Yeah. So these are the two that we are working with now in terms of processing and clearing all these payments.
Thank you, Eric. Now, if there is any clarification required on those answers, for fund managers at least, not to worry, you can get more clarification from the investor relations team that is on board this chat also later on after the media session today. So I hope that answered your question for now, Nazari. Until then, let's move on. Max of FEMAG Online. Okay, I hope that's pronounced correctly. How do you ensure the touch screens are clean and free from viruses? I think at a time like this is a very, very important question.
Yes, thank you for that question, Max. Definitely a very relevant question at this time. Yeah, we are consciously aware of this. These people are kind of wary about the exposure. right? So we actually took the initiative to actually put another. We have installed a film that is antiviral, right? Antiviral film on top of the touch screen. So this will actually help to alleviate some of the concerns that the public may have in terms of the virus.
And I understand you invested significantly in that to reassure customers as well, right?
Yes. The microviral film actually costs a bit of money. Yes.
Yeah, but a worthwhile investment at a time like this.
Yes. We want to take care of the customers as well. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Max, for your question. Let's move on to Terence from NewsRise. Okay, your question is, based on the 3,000 users per month per kiosk, how much is the transaction value generated? And Eric, would you mind to share the transaction volume in terms of value that OpenSys aims to achieve within the first year of launch? Let's just cover that question first.
Yeah. Okay, it's a tough question because different transactions has different value, right? So, but I guess if you look at the let's say telco, right? If you look at what they call the average revenue per user, so usually it's hovering around, depending on whether it's postpaid, prepaid, like 50 to 80 ringgit, that kind of value per transaction, right? So, that's what on average, as an average, that's what probably we'll be looking at.
Okay, and the second question I think was asked a little earlier as well. Would you like to elaborate a bit more, Eric, on the revenue sharing model?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we will provide a share of the revenue that we collect, based on the early on what I mentioned, like how we get the revenue. So a portion of that will be shared with our premise owner, but that's strictly for premise owner only. Yeah.
Okay, now we've got maybe a couple of minutes left for questions before we close the media session. So I'll just jump into the third question. And if anybody else has questions to ask, please do throw them in quickly before we end the session. All right, now let's jump into the third question from NewsRise. Okay, how much revenue and or profit contribution is likely to be generated from X-KIOSK?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, so we are looking at, we're probably looking at the contribution, say, it's probably more meaningful to talk about in 3 years' time. So we are looking at, say, a double-digit contribution from this business, from our kiosk business, right? But at the moment, as I mentioned earlier, it's still early days. We are focusing on getting more kiosks out there, right? Generate more transactions, have more billers, have more payment services, and more payment modes on the kiosk.
Now, I think you may have mentioned this in an earlier answer, Eric, but maybe if you'd like to elaborate. Apart from transaction fees, does OpenSys charge rental fees for the X-KIOSK? No. We don't charge rental fee. So for premise owner, we are going on a revenue sharing model, right? So we don't charge rental fee. So win-win for everybody then.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we've got another question now. Thank you for that question from NewsRise, Terence. All right, let's jump back to Chi-Shin from The Star. How many e-wallets are on board so far?
Okay, today we have Touch and Go Digital, right? So we are talking to a couple more, right? So we will make the announcement as and when we get more on board. Yes.
All right, I'll leave maybe a minute or two to canvass any more additional questions from our fund managers or media organizations. Okay, one quick one here. Amir Shuib, I'm not sure which organization you're from. Should there be a phone application which could consolidate varying merchants and billers? And if it did, would it affect the growth of the X-KIOSK?
Well, we look at the other payment channel, like I guess what this gentleman is referring to is perhaps like maybe on the mobile payment channel, right? We look at X-KIOSK as a kind of different digital channel. It's serve different segments of the community, and as we mentioned during the launch earlier, our X-KIOSK is very much focused and targeted at the B40 community, where they may lack certain they may lack online connectivity. They may have lack means of maybe bank account, credit cards, right? So these are the community that we want to serve, right, with X-KIOSK. This is our main target, right? So again, this community, their payment behavior is different, right? They have different preference. So X-KIOSK is actually designed and built for this type of communities. So we see them as different, and then we see also as a complementary kind of payment channel, like X-KIOSK, between X-KIOSK and say the digital or the mobile payment.
Yep, and it's basically filling a gap in the market, isn't it?
That's right.
All right, here we have a couple of questions here. Who are your competitors? Ooh, and what's your competitive edge, Eric?
Yes, there's a couple of kiosks out there. I guess we have seen a few kiosks out there. There are competitors out there, and based on our internal analysis currently, we see that X-KIOSK has the most comprehensive when it comes to payment modes, right? Most of the kiosks out there, we see there's many support cash, and maybe there's one that actually had e-wallets, and cards particularly is very there's like almost none or very support. The support for cards payment is very limited out there on other kiosks. So I guess this is our competitive edge, right? We provide the most comprehensive in terms of payment modes. Yeah.
Would you say you're the first to have all three payment methods in one machine?
Yes, I think we can claim. So based on our internal analysis, yes, we are probably the one out there that support all three payment modes. Yeah.
And I think that will make you very competitive indeed. Yes. Second question, and then we'll take one more question after this before we close the room. All right, now the pandemic has led to a decrease in footfall in almost every major physical community location, university and mall in Malaysia. How would you see having X-KIOSK help your merchants to increase footfall?
Right. Good question. Yeah, I guess the question on footfall in some of the physical location is during the movement control and lockdown. I guess it's affected. The footfall has decreased, but I think it will come back, right? Because vaccines have been rolled out, so footfall will come back. But if you look at X-KIOSK, how why it brings footfall to say the premise owners that we work with. Because X-KIOSK itself provides that convenience. It's easy to use, and it has this breadth of payment services, payment modes. So by itself, it attracts footfall, right? So that's one. And the other thing that we see during the pandemic is that a lot of companies are reducing the focus on the brick and mortar, outlets, or even their brick and mortar counters, frontline. The capacity is actually reduced, right, to kind of avoid that face-to-face interaction. So again, we think, this will drive the X-KIOSK usage, right? Because people who are going to those places are now finding it maybe a bit inconvenient to make the payments. So X-KIOSK will be a good alternative, and due to that, we believe that the X-KIOSK usage will increase, and therefore increase the footfall for our partners.
After all, bills still need to be paid, and e-wallets still need to be topped up.
That's right.
Regardless. All right, we'd like to invite fund managers who are joining us. We see quite a lot of you in the audience today. If you have any questions before we close the room, do feel free to just pop in a question or two that Eric can answer for you, or Mr. Tune can answer for you. We have time maybe to take on just maybe another one or two questions from fund managers. Or if any media feel that there is a burning question that you must ask Mr. Eric while he's here, please do take this opportunity before we close this room. I think we can probably manage one more question. Our fund managers are very shy today. Whatever it is, I just want to say thank you so much for the great turnout in this breakout room media session, as well as for fund managers. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us here today. And we hope that this will give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have regarding the X-KIOSK. Okay, we've got this one question. I think this will probably be the last. Okay, let's see. How many Malaysians are you able to reach with the X-KIOSK with those 120 units that you have spread out all over the Klang Valley?
Right, yeah. We were targeting, say, around 3,000, sorry, again, I keep saying 3,000 users per month per kiosk. So based on that 130, yeah, we're looking at something like, 360,000 users per month, right? So, yeah, there will be a good captured audience. And earlier on, we talked about doing advertisements. So we will have that kind of eyeball that we will have every month. So that will help us to kind of do our digital marketing and all that. So I think we're quite excited with these opportunities.
I am too, and I think I will be one of those 3,000 people using the machine, and I hope so will you, our friends from the media and fund managers joining us out there. Do take advantage of this time to try out the X-KIOSK and let us know what you think. I think based on my experience trying it out with Dennis earlier that you're going to love it. It's very convenient, very safe, and I think it's going to make life very, very convenient for you. So congratulations again, Mr. Eric. And of course, Mr. Tune, on the launch of this wonderful X-KIOSK, a digital lifestyle payment solution that is going to benefit a lot of people out there. And with that, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our media Q&A session. Now, I'm sure many of you still have questions, or maybe you need further clarification. If you do, please do feel free to contact Roots PR. The contact details will be in the press release. If you're a fund manager and you need more assistance, contact them as well. They'll be happy to direct you to the investor relations team to get your questions answered. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Eric. Thank you, Mr. Tune.
Thank you, Sheahnee.
And thank you very much to all of you joining us here today. Have a pleasant day ahead. See you.
Thank you all.